Big fish, big fish, big fish. He's gonna eat, he's gonna eat, he's gonna eat, he's gonna eat. Oh, he left it. He left it, he was right there. Are you making the biggest mistake fishermen make? Stay tuned to find out what the mistake is. That is a nice. How's it going today, guys? Today I'm going to be telling you the #1 mistake I guarantee you almost every single fisherman makes or has made and hasn't even realized it. So the biggest mistake is their way they reel in their line. Now you might be thinking, oh, all you gotta do is just reel it in, just keep reeling in, you just gotta keep reeling in, just keep reeling, like so. Just keep on reeling. Well, that's actually not the case. See, I keep on reeling like this, it's gonna do something different if I'm using a live bait or if artificial. So any lure I use, with the exception of a pop water or a popper, is gonna be affected by the way I reel in my line. I might be thinking, oh, I just reel it in, like I just showed. Well, that's actually not the case, because what's going to happen is that as your lure is deeper in the water column, it's going to come up. And I've seen A-scopes before to where fish will be following and they'll leave it because of that. So what a lot of people don't realize is that when they cast their line out or their live bait and it's sitting down in the water column, especially if they have a weighted live bait and they're reeling it in, and what they don't notice is that that fish is slowly coming up towards the boat. Because they keep reeling in at the same speed, that fish is going to just not look natural, and the fish chasing it is going to be like, hey, that's not real, and it's not going to bite. Just like how you never catch any fish when they have a big piece of weed hanging on it. That's just not natural. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to start out a steady, and then you're going to have to keep a steady speed, but you're just going to be slowing it down. So I'm going to get up here and show you guys an example like it was in the beginning. So I'm probably not going to catch anything because I'm just off my dock. I'm not like trying to do anything fancy here or anything, but I'm going to just cast this lure out and I'm going to reel it back in and twitch it. So I'm reeling it in at a constant speed. I'm throwing in a twitch here and there. And then something I like to do is I like to reel it in a little bit slower as it gets a little bit closer. So this is actually what you're supposed to do. This is the mistake people make, is that they don't reel it in slower. And that bait just comes up at an angle like the angle my rod tip is at, instead of just staying flat, the same level. And sometimes I'll even throw in a few more twitches as I'm getting it closer to the boat. And then you want to point your rod tip down, that way it can stay at that depth longer, and then also it's going to look more natural. And have you ever had where you're about to reel it in and then boom, a fish crushes it or something like that? That's the case a lot, and that will happen a lot more if you reel it in like this. You're going to be catching so many more fish. It's just going to be unbelievable, especially when you're using artificials like the soft plastics. That's when this jig head doesn't actually have any eyes on it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the jig head with a soft plastic is one I like to use for trout, but with eyes. I just haven't had time to change it. And live baits too, you're going to want to slowly reel them in, and then that way also they're staying down your strike zone, because the odds are, like if you're fishing offshore and you have a fish weighted, or even a bait on a balloon or a bobber, the odds are you're going to have it at that depth for a reason, because that's going to be where the fish are at. So the longer you can keep the bait in at that depth, the longer you're going to be in the strike zone, and the much greater chance you're going to have of catching something. So this is really, really important. So I'm going to do the second time. Once again, I'm going to go up and cast and just show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm just casting it out, and then I'm reeling it back in. So I'm going to start out at this speed, and notice I'm going to get slower as I get closer to the boat. So I like to put my rod tip down, almost touching the water, except I'm on this cooler right now, and I'm sitting about 8 feet up in the air, so I can't, or maybe more like 9.5 feet. But I can't touch the water right now, so I'm pulling it down, and then I'm starting to slow my retrieve down. A lot of bass fishermen, when they use like the crankbaits and top waters, soft plastics too, what they're gonna do is they're gonna be reeling it in slower as they get closer to the boat. That way it stays in that strike zone once again, and also it makes it look more natural. Once again, reeling back to that A-scope, it's the lure, pay attention to how my rod is, it's gonna be going up like this. It's not gonna be that natural, but if it's swimming straight, the fish will be like, oh, that's something I want, and then boom, it's gonna eat it. So that's something a lot of people don't even realize, and they really just overlook it. Now a lot of times they'll be thinking, oh, if I'm not in the right spot, it might not work. Now it's true, that might be true. Sometimes it might not be a good idea. It might not be worth the time. It might be like if you're fishing docks from a long distance, or like let's say the mangroves over there. If I cast to the mangroves, there's some grass right there, I'm gonna be reeling at this And then once I get it close, let's say I had nothing right here. Let's say it just got like really deep. I passed the edge and there was nothing. Then I could probably even speed up my retrieve and get it back into the strike zone. But that's only for like if you're fishing like a grass flat, if you're fishing weeds, like you're in freshwater, you're fishing like open ocean, or anything like that where it's just a big broad area. You're really gonna want to pay attention to this, and this is definitely gonna be costing you fish if you don't do this. So, thanks for watching today's video, guys. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and smash the like button on this video. That way you see more future videos like this, and it helps me out when you guys smash the like button. So, thanks for watching today's video, guys, and until next time.